everybody. This is Marty of Sailing Vessel Kudos. Okay, this was a bit of a learning lesson and kind of expensive, but anyways, I got the drone up and I'm not very proficient at getting it off the boat, but I did, got it in the air. And as we get into the video footage of it, you'll see that things don't quite look right. Everything was fine. All of a sudden it displayed the battery was going dead, which had been fully charged, and I couldn't get it to respond. It returned to home, and in the very last part of this segment you'll see it lands in the water and goes blub blub to the bottom. So San Juan Islands 1, Marty's drone 0. This is the beautiful scenery and such leaving Eagle Harbor. Again, absolutely no wind. As you can tell, the water's like glass, but definitely a beautiful day. This is Echo Bay on Susha Island. It's got several fingers, but this one looked the safest of all. Good holding and such. A lot of boats in there, and more showed up. I talked to another sailor about a week later, and he said he was there when there was a heavy wind, and a lot of people didn't let out enough anchor line or chain, and when the wind got to howling, they started dragging anchors and running into each other. Just goes to show you can't be too careful. This is coming up to Echo Bay on Susha Island. You can see the fingers of the land poking out, and there's bays that run up channels in between it. There's another picture of Mount Baker. And then the anchorage after I got anchored up. Coast Guard boat, U.S. Coast Guard boat sitting in there. And then on the way back out, I seen a pod of orcas in the distance and did the best I could with telephoto lens that I have to get a few pictures of them. I then headed for Checkernut Bay in Bellingham, or close to Bellingham anyways, and as I was getting there I was going around and kind of getting this little outcropping of rocks and wide berth, but this other boat there, I swear it looked like he was going to run right up on top of it. He didn't. Obviously knew more than I did. And this is Checkernut Bay. Good anchorage. There's some railroad tracks that go right by it, so it was a little noisy at times, but not too bad. Leaving Checkernut Harbor. Now that I got the camera on, you probably never see it, but salmon have been jumping all over the place. Yeah, they're going to quit now. Figures. Oh, there's one, two. A little ways out there. Hopefully you can see that. See a lot of that up here. Kind of surprising. You normally don't see that in the ocean down where I'm from. Something different. Got some current in here. It was doing about 7.5 knots and hit this spot and dropped down to about 3.5. One thing I'll give this country, it's got lots of rock. Got a big yacht coming out of the channel here into Reed Harbor. I'm going to let him go by first before I head in. It looks like on the charts it's fairly narrow, so no sense of getting in a hurry. And this is Reed Harbor. Looks pretty cool so far. And I guess there's a way to hike to a lighthouse and some other stuff around here. So this might be kind of neat to check out for a little while. And this is where I'm getting closer to Stewart Island. I'm going to plan on going in and anchoring in Reed Harbor. Some of the scenery and stuff I've seen on the way. Again, croppings of rock just pop up wherever. Got to pay attention. Went by these deer, and they were down by the water, obviously, and I don't think I've ever seen deer that light colored before. And I read in a book that they have no natural predators, and so in order to keep their population under control, they allow the Indians to go in and take care of them. Anyways, again, well, here you go. Indians, or at least it looks like it. I'm sure it's a resort type thing. Lots of teepees around. Kind of cool looking. Once I got anchored up, a lot of jellyfish in the water. There's some hiking trails, schoolhouse. If you want to go far enough, you can actually hike all the way to a lighthouse out on the end. I chickened out on that part. Kind of a typical bay or harbor up here. They all kind of look the same, unfortunately. Anyways, here's a picture of the inset of the map that kind of shows you what's what to expect. There's old Kudos out there in the distance. Dinghy dock, I'm the one on the left, and then I go for my hike. And here's partway up that rock face that you've seen, and up over the top of it. And then back down the other side, and I do mean down. It's stair steps. I thought, oh boy, I'm going to hate myself in the morning. Anyways, I made it up to the schoolhouse area. There's a cool little car. And that one there is kind of like a little library. This one is a little museum type thing, a lot of history stuff in it. And then here is the actual schoolhouse. And I went up on the porch and looked in the windows, and it looks like it's an active schoolhouse. So I'm sure they still use it. And it looks like wood heat. You can see the pile of wood back there in the shed. So pretty cool. But there again, there's a rock face. That's why you got to go up and over and back down and then back up the other side. It's quite a walk. Yeah. I'm not as young as I used to be, and I'm not as in good a shape as I used to be. There's the lighthouse on the far end of the island, if you want to walk that far. Okay, that schoolhouse I hiked up to was somewhere up on top, probably way back there. Anyways, it looked like it was going to be like another at least couple of miles up and down to the lighthouse. Well, I'm glad I didn't do it now, because look at this. I would have had to come over the top of that hill and then all the way down onto this point for that lighthouse. No thank you. All right, try to do this officially and properly. See some buoys up here in front of me, so I gotta steer around them. I don't know what they're all about, but I'm gonna give them a wide berth. There is a shallower area there, but it's not that shallow. And who knows? Not going to take any chances. Anyways, do this properly. I am now in Canadian waters, and you're supposed to display a quarantine flag when you enter foreign waters. So getting the quarantine flag out and to attach it, you run it up your starboard spreader, snap this on. And I don't even have a knot for the other thing. Like I said, I've never been out of the United States, so this is all very, very new to me. Anyways, you run this flag up, and that signifies that you have not checked in through that country's customs yet. And then once they check you in, then you fly that country's flag. Take the yellow one down and fly that country's flag into place. So we now have a Q flag up. Now get back and make sure I'm not running over something I'm not supposed to. There we go. Supposedly we're official, or at least we try to look that way. Make a turn here, got a rock over there we don't want anything to do with. Turn down the VHF, there's a lot of chatter on it. Yeah, weaving in and out of a bunch of little islands and rocks, and it's definitely a much shallower area than it has been. It was 700 feet back there, and now I'm up to 100. So anyways, keep plugging along. Got the Q flag up and coming into the marina here at Sydney. Never been out of the country before, so this is all new to me. But anyways, docked at the customs dock. You call on your telephone. They ask some questions. You answer them, and they tell you, okay, you're good to go. I didn't even see a person. Anyways, Canadian flag up, and I'm off. Sydney's back over there. Little island here. I'm still about 100 feet of water right now. And we're going up that way. We'll go to Cowwitch, something like that. Had people asking why I'm not sailing. Well, as you can tell, there's no wind. And even if you do get a little bit, like it got up to 5 knots around the point of this island right here, and as soon as I got behind it where I'm at now, it dropped back down to 1 knot. Yeah, look how slow the wind generator's moving. Here goes one of the BC ferries, Spirit of British Columbia. He's hauling butt. Just looked it up on the AIS and he's doing 17 knots. Moving right along. Well, I must say I wasn't anticipating this up in here. Granted, it's deep enough, but to me it's kind of quite a bit off the beaten path, but I thought I was coming up in some place that was a little more peaceful and quiet. Not that this isn't, but I was definitely not expecting cargo ships to be up in here. And this is Cowichan, I'm guessing how you spell it or pronounce it. Marina here. Cowichan Marina. I guess that's how you pronounce it. Anyways, they wanted $2.40 a night to stay here, so I'll pass. I'm going to go circle around the bay, check it out, do some sightseeing, and then I'll go over to Genoa Bay and anchor up. See what that looks like. Nice area. Like I said, I was kind of surprised to see ships in here, but now that I'm seeing wharfs and all that kind of stuff up in here in the end of the bay now, so anyways. Well, I got a beautiful little place back in here, but my problem is there's just everything's parked too close together. And I refuse to put out anything less than 5-to-1 anchor road. I don't care what anybody says. That means if it's 20 feet deep, I have out 100 feet of chain. But I just, there's too much in the water. There's too many mooring buoys. There's too many markers like for rocks, logs, or whatever. And I'm just not going to take a chance. I don't feel good about it. Neat place. I forgot the mooring was Canadian instead of US, so that does make it a little cheaper. It comes up to $1.67 a foot here, so it'd be about $87, $88 for me. I don't know, we'll see. Well, that was disappointing. I went up to Cowichan Bay, and that was all mooring buoys like it is behind me here. And to get out past where the mooring buoys are at, because obviously their chains are vertical, and those boats don't move around. If I have to anchor, I got to put out, like right now I'm in 46 feet of water, so I put out 275 feet of chain to make sure the anchor is going to hold good and it's going to be safe, which also means I have a swing radius of probably over 200 feet, which they don't swing at all, so that's why I'm anchored out here by myself. Anyways, after Cowichan Bay, I circled around and seen Genoa Bay, which looked like a cool little spot tucked back in a hole, and got in there, and unfortunately it was lined with mooring buoys all over the place, and there was only one spot out towards the entrance that I felt comfortable in anchoring at, that I would have enough room, and I dropped my oversized 73-pound Rockna anchor, and it did not hold. I started backing down on it, and away it went. It did not even begin to bite. So this is one of the best, if not the best, anchor on the market right now, and if it won't hold bottom, nothing will. My guess is it was a rock plate with just some mud on top of it, so it just slid right along the top of it. Anyways, I'm now at Mill Bay. There's a marina here. Nice little place, looks like. And I got anchor down and holding on this right now, so it looks okay. And I don't know, I might go to Butchart Gardens tomorrow. It's just up that way. I'm gonna guess probably less than 10 miles, so maybe I'll go check that out. Anyways, like I said, disappointed in Genoa Bay. No room, and the place I did find, I could not get the anchor to stick. Anyways, button this thing up. Go get something to eat. I'm hungry. And the next day, took the dinghy to shore and walked up the hill, about a block or so, and went to the local grocery store. Got a few things in my little waterproof backpack that works really good for the dinghy, and walked back to the boat, got in the dinghy, and took my food and stuff back, and got ready to get out of there. Well, thank you everyone for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it. Like and subscribe, and I'll try to get better as I go and keep producing these videos. Have a great day.